Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jessica Rorison, and I am working with the Indigenous Business Development Services Program, as well as with Sage Hill Community Futures, to help organize and facilitate these virtual training sessions. And today we have Scott Burgess here today, and he is with Procurement Assistance Canada. And before we get started, I would just like to read a land acknowledgement. As we gather here today, we acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. So again, we're really happy to have you. At the end of this presentation, we do have a survey that will pop up automatically in Zoom, and we sure would appreciate you taking the time to fill it out. There's 4 questions. We do this just in hopes of gathering vital information for programming in the future and making sure it's in line with what you want to see. With that being said, I'll just pass you over to Jenny.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Glussman, and I work with the Sage Hill Community Futures Office, and we look after the Indigenous Business Development Services, the IBDS. And so we offer loans, advice, and support across our region. And the same thing sort of with the IBDS, we offer the advice. We can help with business plans, projections, all those types of things to help people get their businesses up and running. And another one of the things that we do between Sage Hill and IBDS is offer these virtual workshops. So we run them every couple of weeks. At the end of June, we do take a little bit of a break for the summer, and then we come back with a whole new series again starting in the fall. So with that, we're going to turn it over to you, Scott, and to teach us about, I can't even say the word today. What is it? He must have gone to everybody. Procurement. Anyway, we'll turn it over to you, and we're ready to learn today.
Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate the introduction. And Jessica, I've never been called skirt before, but
D.
That's good. But thank you all the same for the introduction. Yeah, my name is Scott Burgess, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And oh, can you see it? Our screen is good to go. All right. I'm just going to move that around just a little bit. Okay, well, thank you. And yeah, the introduction to federal procurement is a good some good general information on procurement, and a good introduction to federal procurement. So please take some notes on items or slides that you find particularly interesting to you and your business, and send me an email or reach out to me at my email. I'll put it in the chat there later on for more information. I'd be more than happy to chat with all of you on your own time to continue to share the PAC message, and we can go into depth with any of these slides so you're comfortable and ready to do business with the federal government. And before I get into it, and thanks for that land acknowledgement, Jessica, but before I get into it, I'd like to recognize Pride Month as well as the Indigenous History Month. So let's get started. So this seminar has been developed. Before I get into it, please feel free to enter the chat for questions, comments like that. We'll certainly be responding. I know Jenny will be responding as best as she can to help me out here a little bit, and so will I. So just a little update there. So Procurement Assistance Canada was created as part of PSPC to support smaller and diverse businesses like yours in the federal procurement process. My role is to engage with businesses like yours to assist you and inform you on how to sell your goods and services to the Government of Canada, and to work to reduce procurement barriers and in effect to ensure fairness in the process. We also look for opportunities to increase the participation of diverse businesses in federal procurement. We do this by listening to concerns answering questions, helping businesses understand the procurement process, and helping them identify opportunities. We also partner with community organizations like Sage Hill and Community Futures and offer assistance that is tailored to meet specific business needs. So Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, manages the procurement of goods and services valued at about $24 billion annually on behalf of the Government of Canada. On average, smaller businesses in Canada win the majority of the total value of contracts awarded by PSPC each year, with the exception of emergency purchases, where there is an immediate risk to public interest. So let's start by talking about the potential opportunities. Each year, the Government of Canada spends billions of dollars by awarding hundreds of thousands of contracts and making well over 1 million direct credit card purchases. This represents a huge potential market for you. Public Services and Procurement Canada is the main procurement arm of the federal government. The Government of Canada believes that competition in the buying process brings the best value for money to Canadians. More than anything, it is important to the government that all procurement activities be conducted in an open, fair, and transparent manner, and that all suppliers have an equal chance at doing business with us. Federal laws and regulations, as well as the Treasury Board of Canada policies, guide the Government of Canada's procurement process in order to ensure sound financial management of public money. There are a number of procurement initiatives that aim to increase the diversity of bidders on federal government opportunities and to help build a more inclusive economy by boosting the competitiveness and prosperity of Canadian businesses. The procurement strategy for Indigenous business, or PSIB, includes set-aside opportunities for Indigenous businesses and requirements for all government departments and agencies to offer a minimum of 5% of the total value of their contracts to Indigenous businesses. The Better Buying initiatives includes modernizing procurement with a simpler and more accessible procurement system and advancing socioeconomic goals by creating more opportunities for equity-deserving groups. Better Buying is our plan to make procurement process easier, faster, and more accessible for suppliers and buyers. It is based on 3 pillars: building a modern procurement foundation, delivering a simpler, more responsive, and more accessible procurement system, and advancing socioeconomic goals, increasing competition, and fostering innovation. It also means using the government's purchasing power for the greater good to help social objectives such as accessibility, increased opportunities for businesses run by equity-deserving groups, such as women, visible minorities, and persons with disabilities, and also increased opportunities for Indigenous businesses. And environmentally friendly purchasing. Green procurement focuses on integrating environmental considerations into the procurement decision-making process. For example, by setting specific targets for vehicle emissions, reducing plastic waste, and improving energy efficiency in federal buildings. At Procurement Assistance Canada, we support these initiatives by working with the procurement community inside government and by providing support to businesses to help you find, understand, and respond to contracting opportunities. So most often, contracts are awarded through a competitive process. According to Canadian government contract regulations, sole source purchasing can only be undertaken under the following 4 circumstances. In case of a pressing emergency, in which delays would be injurious to public interest, and where a competitive process would delay the government's response. For example, if boats were needed for an emergency evacuation, it would be essential to purchase them as quickly as possible, and sole source purchasing allows this to happen. Secondly, in cases where the total estimated cost for goods, including taxes, does not exceed $25,000 and for services $40,000, as it would not be cost effective to compete. This threshold is adjusted to 100,000 for architectural and engineering services related to real property requirements, as well as for requirements up to $100,000 related to international development assistance programs or projects. Number 3, sometimes the nature of the work is such that it would not be in the public interest to solicit bids, such as for reasons of national security. And at times there may only be one known supplier. For example, when a supplier owns a copyright, license, or patents for a good or service that meets Government of Canada's needs. In each of these cases, sole source purchasing decisions must be fully backed up with sound justification written by the end user. In all other circumstances, goods or services must be bought using a competitive approach. So when we talk about competitive sourcing, over 25 for goods and over 40 for services, the most common types of solicitation methods are an RFP, request for proposal. It's issued to solicit goods or services. It includes the specifications of the goods or services required and describes the evaluation criteria that'll be used to choose the winning bid. For complex requirements, suppliers may be invited to propose a solution to a problem, requirement, or objective. Request for standing offer, RFSO, is used to solicit standing offers. Suppliers who meet the evaluation criteria stated in the RFSO become pre-qualified suppliers and holders of standing offers. The request for supply arrangement is used to solicit arrangements from suppliers for the establishment of supply arrangements. An RFSA may be published more than once a year, for example, quarterly, allowing new suppliers to submit an arrangement. Suppliers who submit an arrangement that meets the evaluation criteria stated in the RFSA become pre-qualified suppliers and supply arrangement holders. Having registered in the SRI, you can then consider some other competitive supplier databases and methods of supply. Each database lists suppliers of specific types of services and are used by government buyers to identify potential suppliers. Providers of informatics services, IT and non-IT professional services, may wish to consider registering on the CPSS to access the pro services method of supply. Task-based informatics professional services is for IT services primarily related to application services, geomatics services, information management services, and cyber protection services, also available through CPSS. The method of supply for task and solutions professional services is for services primarily related to change management, human resources, and business consulting. Temporary help services assist federal departments in their procurement of temporary help services up to $400,000 with an assignment period duration that does not exceed 48 consecutive weeks. CPSS allows access to temporary health services contracts in the National Capital Region, and opportunities outside the NCR are listed separately. You can register in the SELECT database if you provide construction, architectural, and engineering and related maintenance and consulting services. The Directory of Linguistic Services is primarily related to translation, interpretation, terminology, and word processing services. Depending on the nature of your business and the goods and services you provide, you may find it appropriate to apply to more than one method of supply or competitive supplier database. So use canadabuys.canada.ca to search the Government Electronic Tendering Service, GETS, for public sector tenders and contract history, and to register in the electronic procurement solution. Canada Buys is the single window for businesses to view bidding opportunities across federal, provincial, territorial, and municipal governments, as well as administrative institutions, schools, and hospitals. You may see some tender opportunities that require electronic bidding. These opportunities will direct you to register for an SAP Ariba account to access the electronic procurement solution through Canada Buys. You can register for free to view details and to bid online. Once registered, you can use the same login to view and bid on tenders that require electronic bidding. Over time, more opportunities will be processed through electronic bidding. You can complete your business profile on SAP Ariba and provide as much information as you can about your business, including the commodities you sell and the socioeconomic profile of your business. This will help buyers identify your business as a potential supplier, and you may benefit from procurement initiatives that aim to increase supplier diversity. Buyandsell.gc.ca is your source for detailed federal procurement information, including how to register as a supplier, procurement policies and guidelines, key procurement contacts in departments and agencies, Government of Canada procurement initiatives and programs, information related to upcoming events and seminars, and of course, procurement applications. The Government Electronic Tendering Service is the official source suppliers should rely on to find Government of Canada tenders. Be sure to check for new tenders posted on the website on a regular basis. Federal departments and agencies use GETS to advertise their requirements, subject to any trade agreements, and often will use it for other requirements as well. GETS is easy to navigate. It allows suppliers to search for new contract opportunities, as well as see past contract awards. So there are a number of benefits while using GETS. First, you don't have to register to search. Second, you can search using plain language, keywords, and narrow down your search results by region, government agency, or department, and more. Third, you can find related procurement data for any tender, previous contracts, as well as current standing offers and supply arrangements. And fourth, you can save a search and subscribe for updates by email or web feeds. When searching for opportunities and subscribing to notifications, search by keywords and note down the GSIN and the UNSPSC codes listed in tender notices that correspond to your goods and services. You can subscribe to notifications on all three. So register in the SAP Ariba to bid on opportunities posted to the electronic procurement solution. Complete your business profile and provide as much information as you can about your business, including the commodities you sell and the socioeconomic profile of your business. This will help buyers identify your business as a potential supplier, and you may benefit from procurement initiatives that aim to increase supplier diversity. You may see some tender opportunities that require electronic bidding. These opportunities will direct you to register for an SAP Ariba account to access the electronic procurement solution through Canada Buys. You can register for free to view details and to bid online. Once registered, you can use the same login to view and bid on other tenders that require electronic bidding. Over time, more opportunities will be processed through electronic bidding. For other tenders, you may need to register on the supplier registration information system and have a procurement business number. These tenders will require bid submission through conventional methods such as PSPC, bid receiving unit, or through Canada Post's Connect service. Each opportunity will detail the requirements for submitting a bid. Make sure you read the bidder's instructions carefully. You can follow opportunities on Canada Buys by saving a search or following tender notices. Detailed instructions are available through the Canada Buys support page. You can also visit the transition to electronic procurement page on the buyindsell.gc.ca for more information and resources. For more information about setting up your account to access the electronic procurement solution, visit the Getting Started page on Canada Buys. If you need any support using Canada Buys, contact the Canada Buys service desk. And also for questions about the procurement process, you can contact Procurement Assistance Canada and the info line, or send me an email or call me. I'll definitely help you with that. So not sure where to go from here. If you want to learn more about selling to the Government of Canada, download the Getting Started Selling to the Government of Canada reference sheet, and that's at Buy and Sell. If you want to go ahead and register to be a government supplier, visit the Register as a Supplier webpage on the Buy and Sell. Download the Preparing to Bid on an Opportunity reference sheet if you're ready to start working on your bid submission. That's at Buy and Sell. And consult our website to see how we can help your business. Our website lists our services and self-serve resources organized by how advanced you are in your bidding journey. If you'd like to continue learning about the procurement process, register for your next seminar on our website using the event calendar. You can build on what you've learned from this presentation by participating in one of these seminars, doing business with the government, finding opportunities on the government website, electronic tendering service, and also bidding on opportunities. So how can Procurement Assistance Canada help? We offer free seminars and webinars and one-on-one sessions to help suppliers understand the process. We also operate a 1-800 national info line for suppliers who have questions about the procurement process tools. Well, thank you for coming. If you have any questions or comments, like I said, I'll be putting my email in the chat. Please feel free to contact me anytime. I'll put my cell phone number in there. Please visit our website where you can find information about our services, register for upcoming seminars, and access self-serve resources that can help you throughout the procurement process. You can also contact a regional office near you directly. We have 6 regional offices across the country that are there to help you. You can find regional contact information on our website. Excuse me. So now I'd like to give a little bit of a demo on our actual websites, and show you what it looks like, and give you some tips and tricks on how to use this page. Oh, what happened? And there we go. So this is canadabuys.canada.ca. This is our one-stop shopping center for our tenders. Now, I'm just going to go right into tender opportunities. And you'll see immediately we have 2 current filters open. One's awarded and one is open. I'm not interested in the awarded right now. I just kind of want to see what's open and out there. So I'm going to delete the awarded filter. You know, I might look at that awarded later if it's similar commodities or services that somebody else was awarded. I'll have access to some of that information, not all of it, not all the numbers. Some of that numbers, right, is strictly confidential, but some of the methodology and the other items you can definitely view on past awarded tenders. So here I see Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Parks Canada, NATO, Ryan Wong. So you can see it's just not the federal government who uses this website. We also have municipalities, Halifax Regional Municipality, Cape Breton Regional Municipality. So we share this website with other organizations. They might send you to their third party for processing your tender, your bid, just like us. So they might use other apps, but I'm just going to focus on Honeywell Maintenance Service Plan for Pilatus PC 1.2. I'm just going to click on the very first one that comes up. Obviously, it's the RCMP. I have 19 days and 22 hours to submit my bid. Once these numbers get to 0, it's done. They're not accepting any more bids. They won't matter if it's in the mail. Actually, it will matter if you had a chance to drop this off at Canada Post, because they're our federal family. Prior to these numbers hitting the zeros, then we certainly will accept them there because of the timestamp recognized. So as mentioned in the presentation, definitely read the description and the details. You want to make sure that your business can provide all that's necessary in the details. If I have any concerns with regards to this description or the bidding details, or maybe I just want to promote my own business, I'm going to phone Diane. I'm going to call Diane or send an email to Diane, ask her questions about it, see what's coming down the pipe maybe in the near future, and promote my own business internally with Diane. Or stay focused on the bidding details here. Sometimes when you click on bidding details, you'll get sent to SAP Ariba. And when you do, that means they want you to submit your bid via electronically. So 001 is the very first one that is the very first original post for this tender. So my French isn't very good, so I'm just going to click on the English. And as you can see, one page of 32. And the description, make sure, like I said before, make sure you read the description and ensure that you have what it takes to meet the needs and requirements of this particular tender. So if I had a question about this tender, I'm just going to back out. And I wanted to ask Diane, let's say service plan for Pilatus PC12. Can I use the Pilatus PC11? Maybe I want to ask her that. Maybe that's the only one I have. So I would send Diane an email and say, Diane, can I use the Pilatus PC11 instead of the PC12? I have no idea what that is. I'm making that up. But anyways. And so when she answered me in the email or the telephone, she'd have to share that information with everybody else across the board with regards to our transparency policy. So Diane would get back to me, and then she would put an amendment number 002 in French and English. Supplier asked if they can use PC11 instead of PC12. No, they can't. So that'll be 002 in the amendment. So make sure you familiarize yourself with all of the documents that are attached to this tender. So if I want to follow this notice, I'm interested. I got 19 days. I can wait. I'm not quite ready to fill it out yet, but I am interested. Maybe an amendment will come in. I'm going to follow this notice. So there's 3 different ways you can follow the email, RSS feed, or the Atom feed. I'm going to choose the email because I don't know what those other 2 are. So I put my information on here about this, and then I would create an email notification. Boom. So if anything changes on this tender, they're just going to send it to my email. I don't even have to check up on this daily. They're going to send it right to my email, and I'll be able to read it that way. Now, let's say maybe there's part of this contractor tender that I'm interested in. Maybe I can provide some material, but I can't do it all. It's too big for me. I'm just a subcontractor. There's only me and my other 2 guys. But I can't take it all, but I am interested. I would scroll down to the bottom of this and partner with another business. So here I'm going to add my company name and my contact number, as well as the description of what I can provide. Let's say our army's looking for food and I have a ton of Macintosh apples, but I can't provide all the nutrition or vegetables or fruits. So I would put my information in there. I got Macintosh apples. I can chip in with the apples, or I have a freezer truck. I could drive fresh meats for you, or anything that would require this tender to be completed, you could get in as a subcontractor. So that's where your imagination and your information really plays a key role for when you're searching. Contact information there, fill this all out, and then boom, I would preview your company listing. Now, once I did that, my company listing would be right here, right above this beaver, Scott's Macintosh apples, and then some of my information would be there. Maybe Jenny's Potatoes Company or something. Her information would be right there. So whoever wins this bid can go through those partners who are interested and contact them directly. So I'd sit and wait for the winning bidder to reach out for Scotty's Macintosh apples and for him to call me. So that's where all the information would be there. I'm just going to go back to the tender opportunities here and show you how easy it is to use the search words. Jenny, you're going to have to keep me on a time here because I'm not too sure how long I have, but I'm just going to keep going.
You're doing good. We've still got half an hour. You got lots of time. Lots of examples. We'll sell those apples yet.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's looks like food. I've used food before in here. So I'm going to type in food. That's good. I'll go into the food. And that's just how easy it is. Okay, so I've gotten 126 tender notices with regards to food. Okay, I don't want to go anywhere. I kind of want to stay within province. So I'm going to change my location. I'm going to go, as you can see, all these filters. These are all of the nations and countries we have free trade agreements with. Not interested in South Africa, but I will go to Saskatchewan. And maybe Alberta. Yeah, I can drive to Alberta. So I'll apply these filters. I have food for Alberta and Saskatchewan. And now I have 12 tender notices here. Here's a supply arrangement for incidental facilities and catering services, miscellaneous groceries, Edmonton Garrison, so on and so forth. So it is that easy. For our Indigenous suppliers who might be in, I'm going to type in the search words PSIB and PSAB. So this is procurement strategy for Indigenous businesses and procurement strategy for Aboriginal businesses. So I'm using that. It's open. I'm in Alberta, I'm in Saskatchewan, and now I've included these two search terms as well. So this is just specifically for Indigenous suppliers to be able to use that. So I have 26 here that recognize and will consider Indigenous suppliers only. If they get more than one, then they'll focus their purchase on that. But if they only get one, they might change it to open because of the competition purposes that we have in the policies. So here's a fencing contractor services right there. $7 days and 21 hours left. This is the request for standing offer. So that means once I get on the list as a potential supplier and I've gone through the registration and jumped through the hoops, I'm now on the standing offer. So they can contact me for up to however long the details require. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, as a maintenance individual for fencing contractor services. So I don't know when they're going to call me. I don't know if they're going to call me, but I'm on the list and they can call me. Just because you get on the list as a standing offer doesn't mean you get a contract. So make sure you're aware of some of that information.
Scott, may I interrupt you? I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
In order to be working with the government, do you have to have business insurance?
Yes, I believe you have to be registered in the CRA, with the CRA.
Right, yes, but in terms of, do you need to have liability insurance?
Well, that
obviously
like that'll depend on, that'll depend on the tender. And of course, we have security the security is pretty high in some of our facilities as well. So there are security and background checks in some of the tenders as well. So yeah, definitely they are. I'm not too sure how often we have those, but yeah, I definitely know they're there.
Okay, thank you.
So some of the information that I wanted to share with you guys, I just went to the home again on Canada Buys, went to the home page, finding tenders. We looked for the tenders already. Here's some more information, getting started, finding out how to prepare for buying and selling. So some of those references I made there, you can all find on the Canada Buys and the buy and sell as well. So how do I register my business? So let's start there. Well, we talked about the SAP Ariba account, which you need in order to submit electronic bids. And word of advice, get your company on the SAP Ariba. We are completely going electronic, and so that's in the future. We're a ways yet from that, but we are definitely going all electronic. So make sure you familiarize yourself with the SAP Ariba account. And then, of course, we have some CRA information there as well to register your business, because you need to do that prior to registering in the SAP Ariba account. So I want to show you another web page that we referenced, which was the buy and sell. buyandsell.gc.ca. This is a very good website. Headquarters in Ottawa. Don't think we still use this website, but we do. Don't tell them that we're using it. But it's taking a while to migrate into our new website, which is I'm not even too sure if I can say the name yet because we're still prepping it up. But it's taken a while to migrate some of this older information into our new website. That's why the transition's taken a while. But for businesses here, you can register as a supplier and register in the supplier registration system. Now, what the supplier registration information system does, as talked about in the presentation, is we can see the ministry and the agencies can look on that list in the SRI system and see where their goods and services are and who's selling them and who's providing them. And they can reach out to you directly if it's under $25,000 for goods and under $40,000 for services, and buy directly from you with a credit card. So it's important to have your company registered on the SRI so that you're promoting it internally within various departments and institutes. So this is some very good information here for the businesses. Here's the goods and services. Now, when you are registering through the SRI and the SAP Ariba, you're going to get into the GSIN codes and the UNSPSC codes that I referenced in the presentation. And you'll identify for your own businesses what you can provide with them. So for example, here's the GSIN code C is for construction, and then you can go into the various other codes there, 51 for construction services, and so on and so forth. So make sure you familiarize yourself with that. And I think there might be, and of course, the contact information there as well. And I'll go back to the Canada Buys, go to the home, back to the home page. And if you were interested in news and events, like I mentioned in the presentation, take a look at the latest news, take a look at the buy and sell events calendar, upcoming events there. Oh, where did that go? And buy and sell. So as you can see, introduction to federal procurement, Ask Pack Anything is usually hosted on Fridays. You can just pop in, pop out, ask your question, or be a fly on the wall, listen to some other suppliers. And of course, I can provide any of these as well with you one-on-one if you wanted to go about it that way as well. So make sure you make sure you check out some of the upcoming events in the calendar. So I think with that, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you today. And were there any questions that popped up, or go from there? Maybe open the floor for some discussion.
Nothing in the chat. I just asked, does anybody have any questions? It was great to see you actually go into the website and kind of show where to go. That was very helpful. Otherwise, it was kind of Greek, and then it was, actually seeing it and what a contract actually looked like. Oh, and someone just asked for your email for future contact, but I see you've already put that in there. So yes, Scott's email address is in the chat for anybody, and I think we'll make sure everybody gets that as well.
Yes.
And I included my cell number there too. You guys can call me, email me, and set up a meeting. And yeah, we can definitely go into some more depth and customize your presentation for you. Make sure you understand where you're going.
So when you say to set up a profile, what kind of information should you be compiling before you go on? Is there what kind of questions are you filling out in the profile part?
Well, in the profile part, you're just filling out the information about the commodities and the services that you're providing. And so you're essentially just sharing that information with the various ministries and institutes that have access to the SRI. I can't speak for the municipalities or maybe some of the academic institutes, but I know our government certainly does that and uses it quite regularly. It'll actually guide them on where and how and what type of tenders they should be posting on there.
Okay.
Now, Scott, is this the same type of bidding process? Sorry, I'm going to back up. If there was, let's say, a government program that is coming available, are those the types of opportunities that an organization could also be bidding on through this process? Like, for example, let's say Sage Hill Community Futures registers on here. And now there's a new entrepreneurial program through the government, and they're looking for somebody to manage this program. Would a program like that be looking for program coordinators in this way, or is that a completely different platform?
Yeah, that would be a different platform. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question though. And as far as maybe I shouldn't say that. I haven't come across any types of those tenders being posted on here. Usually some of the ministries will contact me and say, Scotty, can you help me out? Find somebody for that fencing contract, for example. So I'm reaching out specifically with regards to that. Okay. But as far as some of those other services go, no. Now I did mention some of the other services, like the pro services and the IT services and so on and so forth. There might be opportunities in there with regards to administration tasks, some management tasks of information. Yeah, that would certainly be tendered. Now, register to provide services. So where is that? Here are the pro services and the select as well are very good websites and some good information here on the site. So here are the pro services there. And so some of the types of services there are, might be more admin, method of supply, contact, contain categories for informatics requirements, so managing information. So this is definitely, I think, covers what you were asking about. I'm not too sure if it does or not, but
yes, basically the answer is no. This is not that platform. What is that platform?
Well, the pro services platform.
It's okay. I was just, I'll play around. I was just curious if it was, you know, like organizations could be putting their name, like registering. And then if there's opportunities that kind of fall within their description of their organization, would they be contacted? But you're saying it's a little bit of a different, this is more of a good services.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is a little
Okay.
bit different, and it would be worth it if you're in that line of business to definitely familiarize yourself with some of the pro services. And you can reach out to me and we can do a presentation on that as well.
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yeah, familiarize yourself with the website and some of the leads that are available on there.
That sounds great. Perfect. No, that was great. If nobody has, I think we've got lots of thank yous. No other questions at this moment. But like we said, we'll make sure we'll be sending this out, and we'll make sure everybody gets Scott's contact information. And I'm thinking he'll be a great wealth of information for anyone that's interested in checking this out.
Yes.
Thank
you, Scott. That was great. Yeah. Very helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it. Yes.
Good. No, and thank you to everybody that joined us this afternoon. This was great. We are back in next week, right? Is it next week? The 13th. And we're changing complete directions. We're going to talk about TikTok. Yeah. So you never know. We cover all realms of business, whether, you know, finding contracts or how to market your business. So on the 13th, we're back with TikTok. And with that, I'd like to thank Scott and everybody for joining us this afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Take care.
See you.
Yep. See you soon.